Welcome everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over the learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to understand equivalence and equivalent expressions and how to maintain balanced equations even under unconventional operations. How are we learning it? Through the equivalence and equations notes and the equivalence and equations assignment. When can we use this information? To complete daily tasks while maintaining balance, finding equivalent solutions to problems. How do we know we learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the equivalence and equations assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We will begin by going over the learning goals and success criteria. While we do that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. Next, we'll do our weekly raffle. After that, we'll go over the equivalence and equations notes, and then I'll give you time to complete the equivalence and equations assignment on Desmos. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your before you go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on the reasoning about statement study guide and any incomplete assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the equivalence and equations notes. The notes begin with the learning goals and success criteria. Think of equivalence as being a state of being alike in value. So we have different rocks, and notice they're all different sizes here, but their weights balance out, so that's what we need to do. So if we take one rock off, we need to make sure we do it to the other side as well and keep everything balanced. So let's look at a simple equation here. So we're given 3x minus 4 is equal to 5. Well, we all have our ideas of how to solve this, and most of us would just get to work right away. We'd add the 4 to both sides and then divide by 3. So let's go ahead and do that. So we add by 4 on both sides, and we're left with 3x is equal to 5 plus 4, which is 9. Then we recognize that 3 times x, to undo that, we're going to go ahead and divide it. So we divide both sides by 3, we get x is equal to 3. Easy enough, that's what we all would probably do. So to make sure that we maintain balance, we perform the same operation with the same values on both sides of the equal sign. Okay, easy enough. Now, what if I told you to do something different? What if I said add 6 to both sides? That doesn't change anything, right? We're still keeping the equation the same, so we have 3x minus 4 is equal to 5. So I add 6 to both sides, and I get 3x minus 4 plus 6 is equal to 5 plus 6. So I combine like terms, so I get negative 4 plus 6 is positive 2, and 5 plus 6 is 11. So I get 3x plus 2 is equal to 11. Remember that the solution was supposed to be x equals 3, so we want to see if that still holds even after I do this operation. So then I plug in 3. I get 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11, which is the same. So the solution is exactly the same even though we added 6 to both sides. So as long as I stayed balanced, the equation stayed the same and the answer stayed the same. Now the question is, will this hold true for all operations and values? So is there anything I can do to both sides that will change this and make the answer different? So let's look at 3x minus 4 equals 5, so we have the same equation, and we're going to multiply both sides by 0. So when I do that, I get 0 times 3x minus 4 is equal to 0 times 5. Remember that the solution was x equals 3. Well, here I end up with 0 equals 0, which eliminated my x altogether. So now it does not hold up. So there are infinitely many solutions because 0 equals 0. So therefore, x equals 3 is not necessarily a solution. Now, undoing it. So it says if you can undo your work, meaning work backwards, and get back to the original solution, then the solutions are the same for the given operation. So remember the solution was x equals 3. So we would state that from step 2 to 3 we multiplied some number by 0 and got 0. That unknown number could be any number, right? So it doesn't matter. Let's look at it, the other example we had. So on the previous one we couldn't undo the work because the 0 screwed everything up. It made it so that any value could be in there for x and it would still be true instead of just being 3 as our answer. So let's look at this one. we have 3x minus 4 is equal to 5, and 3x minus 4 plus 6 is equal to 5 plus 6. So first, remember that the solution was x equals 3. So we're going to try to work backwards. So if we work backwards, we would state that from step 2 to 3, right, from here we added 6 and got 11, and 6 to a number and got 3x plus 2. We can see that we would have then started with 3x minus 4 is equal to 5. So if we were to undo that step of adding 6, then we would end up with this, and therefore our solution would still be x equals 3. So if we were to take this and subtract 6 from both sides, basically, would we end up with the same thing? And in this case, we would. Let's talk now about how to sign in to Desmos to complete your work. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on the link to go to the assignment, and it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. And right here where it says sign in with Google, we're going to click there. And it's going to pop up with our email accounts. You're going to click on your school email account, and it should already have you logged in because you should have already been logged in using Google Classroom. From there, I'm just going to click start the activity, and it will take me into the assignment and allow me to begin. So that's how you will log in to Desmos using Google. Let's take a look now at the Equivalence and Equations assignment. The assignment begins with the learning goals and success criteria. If we scroll down, there's a link here to take us to the Desmos activity. Go ahead and click on that link. Go ahead and click Start the Activity. The activity begins with the learning goals and success criteria. We'll go ahead and click Next. The first question says, consider the equation 3x plus 5 is equal to 17. A typical first step would lead to the equation 3x equals 12. Describe in words the first step. So how do we go from here to here? Well, we subtracted 5. So we would type that in. And we need to make sure that we state that it's from both sides. So we subtracted 5 from both sides. Now it says solve the equation for x. So you'll go ahead and solve that and put your answer in here. Then we'll go ahead and click Next. Now for the next one, it says, determine if the equation results with the same solutions that we originally came up with. So whatever our solution was on the previous one, we need to decide, is it the same? So for this one, it says subtract 10 from both sides. So if we take 3x plus 5 and then subtract 10 is equal to 17 minus 10, are we going to get the same results? So you're going to go ahead and solve that and then decide, are the results the same? Is our answer the same on this slide as it was on the previous slide? And you'll do that for each of these. So this time we'll multiply by 5. This time we'll multiply both sides by 0. This one says take the log of both sides. If you're not sure what that looks like, go ahead and enter that into a calculator. Raise both sides to an exponent with base e. So that means you're going to have e to the, and this will be 3x plus 5 power is equal to e to the 17th power. And you're going to decide whether the solutions are the same. So you'll do that for each of these. And we're going to continue that. Cube both sides, take the sign of both sides, and we'll keep going. Now, on slide 5, we're going to undo the operation. So it says answer each of the following if possible. In each of the following, we do something to a number and investigate whether we can undo it to find the number. So it said I subtracted 10 from a number. So I take x minus 10 and got 3. What is the number? So you're going to go ahead and solve that. So you'll do that for each of these. And then continue that for the next one as well. You're going to go ahead and find the number. So this one says I cubed a number and got 27. So x is a number we don't know, and we cubed it, and we get 27. Okay, what is the number? So there we go. So that's what you'll do for this assignment. When you're done with this, you'll go back to your Google form and click Next. This will take you to your Before You Go. Go ahead and fill out your Before You Go, and then submit your work on Google Classroom.